Hello dear students, welcome back to Module 3 Learning. In this, we have learned so many things in the last classes, like we have learned about meaning, definition, characteristics, principles of learning, and also we have learned about 4 theories of learning, right? So today we are going to discuss about uh, a part of learning module, that is organizational behavior modification. Okay, once the behavior is learned, when the learning happens, the how the learning is can be used in modifying the behavior in organization. That is what we are going to study today. So let's see what is this organizational behavior is. Organizational behavior model is all about. Okay. So organizational behavior modification, or OB mod in short form, we can call as OB mod. Okay, it's also known as organizational behavior management. Okay, actually it is known as organizational behavior management only whenever the organizational behavior management is referred as, it is understood that it is we are talking about organizational behavior modification. In short form, we call it as OB mod. Okay, so what it is about? It is about the reinforcement. What how we apply the reinforcement, okay, in the organization. So by the application of reinforcement, how the behavior is modified of a worker or an employee in an organization. That is what work setting here given. Okay, so organizational behavior management is a field that deals with the application of reinforcement concepts to individuals in work setting, right? So in work setting means in any organization, companies, you can say, for the workers or the employee. So we have to use the reinforcement techniques to modify the behavior or to expect the changes in the behavior of the our employees or workers. Okay, more specifically and clearly, Stephen P. Robbins has defined OB mod, or OB, organizational behavior modification, is a program where manager identify performance related employee behaviors. So when it is happening in an organization means the behaviors of an employee which is related to his performance. Okay, where managers identify performance related behaviors, employee behavior, and then implement an intervention strategy to strengthen desirable behavior and weaken undesirable behavior. Okay, so what this definition is telling us is, there is an employee, say for example Mr. X. So his performance, the manager will, critically observe his performance, evaluate his performance, analyze his performance. Then if he finds that the performance what is expected from him is not desirable, his behavior is not desirable, is not meeting the standards, is not in a simpler way, he is not doing the right kind of, how it has to be done, that work, or is underperforming, or his behavior is which is not acceptable. So for that kind of behavior, uh, by identifying, managers will identify while performing the job. So those will be changed. These undesirable behaviors, unexpected behaviors, unacceptable behaviors will be changed by an intervention strategy. Okay, intervention strategy here refers to reinforcements. Okay, intervention strategy here refers to reinforcements. Correct? Reinforcement, you all of you know, right? We have studied in operant conditioning theory. Okay, again we are going to study that here also. So once again, to understand the Robbins definition about OB modification is, organizational behavior modification is, managers will identify the employee performance and they will check their behavior about that performance, whether the behavior is desirable or undesirable. If the behavior is undesirable, then they will use the intervention strategy to strengthen the desirable behavior. Okay. So let us see what all is there in this OB modification. Uh, First, we will understand the reinforcement, because we are seeing reinforcement term here, and we have already studied about reinforcements in the operant conditioning theory. Still, I want to clarify you. Like here, I've given my operant conditioning theory. What it says. It's also called as the reinforcement theory. We can refer the operant conditioning theory as a reinforcement theory. So what the theory suggests is, whatever the behavior we do on the basis of consequences, right? So behavior is, if the consequences is positive, then we repeat that behavior. If the consequences is negative, we stop behaving in a certain way, right? So if pleasant consequences are there, then we repeat it. If unpleasant consequences are there, we won't repeat such kind of behavior, right? So that is the reinforcement theory or operant conditioning theory we were talking about. Very important in OB modification. Okay, it will come in the modification step. Going further, you can understand it. Okay, next going to see here steps of OB modification. How by using the intervention strategy, how a manager can expect strengthen the desirable behavior. Strengthen the desirable behavior here. Maybe if I want to give example, like reducing the absenteeism, or increasing the punctuality, increasing the productivity, increasing the discipline in the employees. These are all the desirable behavior, expected behavior in the organization, right? Efficiency, productivity, punctuality. Okay, so these are the desirable behavior in the generally. We're talking, giving an example. This can be a desirable behavior in any organization. To strengthen the desirable behavior, we managers will use the intervention strategies, right? So intervention strategies are used to change the behavior in that case. So why the managers has to do, and how the stepwise the behavior modification will happen. Okay, from the examination point of view also, it is very much asked question, steps in OB modification and its application in organization, right? So these are the 5 steps I have given here. uh, in the 5 step, this last one what you're watching here, this is a feedback process, we can say, or evaluation of this process, right? So first step says about identify important organizational behavior. Second step, measure the frequency of the behavior. Third step, analyze antecedents and consequences. Third step, intervene. Fourth step, evaluate for performance improvement. Okay, then the, if problem solved, yes, then maintain it. If problem is not solved, then go back to intervention, right? So we'll see it by step when we see, then you'll better understand whether the problem is solved or not. Okay, so first step we will take an identification, right? Very important step, where we are identifying the problem, right? Identifying the problem which is related to a performance of an employee, or his undesirable behavior or unaccepted behavior. Okay, so identification is done by his supervisors, managers. Okay, sometimes by self identification also, we can say in 360-degree appraisal, self identification of a problem. If you feel that I am unable to perform this task, so you can always seek for the help with your manager. Okay, so let us discuss about the identification now. Okay, so these are the performance related behaviors, identification of the performance related behaviors. First, what they will do, whether the behavior is a desirable behavior or undesirable behavior, accepted behavior or unaccepted behavior, they have to identify. The manager has to identify about the employees. Okay, when we are discussing about the steps, so we have to keep it in a mind. A manager is going through these steps by taking an employee or a group of employees, right? So this manager is applying the steps on any particular employee or a group of employees who are under the modification process. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the steps, we have to think about it. So first, what they have to do, the performance related behaviors they have to identify. So how to identify? As whether the employee is performing right way or wrong way, or you can say it is desirable or undesirable, acceptable behavior or unacceptable behavior. Okay, so from the point of view of organization, okay, whether that behavior or a performance is as planned or is meeting to standards or not. If he is meeting to standards, it's become a behavior, desirable behavior. If the employee is not meeting to standards of the organization, it becomes the undesirable behavior. Okay, next stage is we have to identify the critical behaviors. Okay, we'll see what are the critical behaviors in the next slide. Okay, so first we have to identify the critical behaviors. So these critical behaviors are a very important things which have an impact on the employee's performance. Okay, let us see what are the critical behaviors, then let us come back to this slide. So I have given some of the behaviors which affect the job performance are like critical behaviors are absenteeism, attendance, tardiness or laziness, promptness, complaints, conservative criticism, listening to or not listening to, uh, listening to or not listening to the instructions. These are the critical, some of the example for the critical behavior. Okay, absenteeism, attendance, tardiness, promptness, complaints, constructive criticism, listening to or not listening to instruction. These are the some of the example of critical behavior. Now come back to the second stage. First, they have identified the performance related behaviors, whether the behavior is desirable or undesirable. Okay, in the same identification stage, again the second step would be we have to identify the some critical behaviors which have direct impact on the performance of an employee. Okay, if he's keeping absent, or he's keeping coming late, or he's performing very lazy, tardiness is showing in his job, means that will impact his performance, right? So we have to give attention to critical behaviors of the employee. Next, after identifying the critical behaviors, okay, sometimes if it is not, prominently visible, like absenteeism can be visible if you check his records of login and log out or attendance check. So this kind of productivity you can easily identify. But if you think about the motivation factor, lack of motivation, or like laziness, so this kind of things cannot be easily identified. So what the managers has to do is they have to discuss with the particular employee, and the supervisor who's his immediate supervisor, we say, who's he reporting to, employees reporting to, we can talk to both of them, and we have to understand their job behavior. Okay, because the immediate supervisor closely observes the employee. Okay, so manager it becomes difficult. So if he talks to his supervisor, so about an employee, then supervisor would give inputs about a employee. Okay, or directly if you discuss with the employee himself or herself, so that may help you in identifying the whether the standards are met or not, whether the desirable behavior is achieved or not from the organization point of view. Okay, so if such behaviors are modified, like absenteeism, or okay, or always complaining about something, okay, or not listening to the instructions, so these kind of things are to be modified, right? So if you identify such critical behavior and you find out that the employee is facing problem in these areas, so that can be modified, So we have to give attention to such things, such critical behaviors, because these are the behaviors will get repeated if it is not changed, like absenteeism. Okay, if you're not giving warning, or if you're not giving any kind of punishments, or you're not paying attention whether employees absent or not absent. Okay, so whether he's listening to instructions or following the rules and regulation or not. So if you ignore such kind of thing, those kind of behaviors will go in the unidentified behaviors. Then those will be, get strengthened. These are the undesirable behavior. So instead of strengthening the desirable behavior, the undesirable behavior will got strengthened if the identification is not done by their supervisor or manager. So these things will be repeated in again and again in the organization. Okay, which is a undesirable activity in the organization. The next step is measurement. So first we have identified the critical behaviors. What are the critical behavior? So in different employees, different kind of critical behavior or undesirable behavior might be there. Some person is not paying the attention. Some person is getting, absent every week, or some person is just taking sick leaves every time. Uh, so some person is, he's not finishing his tasks or targets within the stipulated time, or is intentionally delaying the work. So these are the things critical. We have identified critical behaviors. Then we have to measure those behaviors, right? What is the magnitude of this behavior? Okay, in which direction this critical behaviors are going, and what is the impact of this behavior? How often they are repeating? This all comes under the measurement. Okay. So next step for the manager is to measure the frequency of critical behavior, right? If the person is having, say for example, absenteeism problem, so how often he is getting absent to the job? Okay, he is being absent to the job weekly once, monthly once, or weekly twice. How oftenly he's giving reasons to not to come to the office, right? So we have to, keep the frequency of that critical behavior. Okay, so this measurement can done by observation or extraction of information from the records. Okay, observation by the immediate supervisors or managers, okay, about his behavior. Or if you check his records like attendance and all, if you check, then you'll come to know that employees absent for like how many weekly twice he's being absent. If you find out this for a particular employee, Mr. X, we find out weekly 2 days he's remaining absent to the job. So that is you're checking by his attendance sheet, or his biometric, or his login log or details. Okay, so this is how you identify, I mean, measure the by observation or extraction of the information. Okay, say for example, if you're taking Mr. X who is being absent for weekly 2 days, and Mr. Y who is absent for in January 2 days a month, and in February 1 day a month. So that kind of like 2 days a month or a 1 day a month, might be he's not keeping well, or he is having any personal reasons. So he might have taken the leave, or that's why he did not come to the office, or to the job. So that is an acceptable limit. Monthly once or twice is an acceptable limit. What is unacceptable limits? What which exceeds the acceptable limits? Means monthly once is acceptable limit. Being absent is an acceptable limit. If it crosses more than two, like week, more than two means 3 days a month, 4 days a month, 6 days a month. If weekly twice means it will become 8 days a month, right? So Mr. X is exceeding the acceptable limit. Okay, the organization might give or leave grant, and can ignore the, people who are just being 2 days or a 1 day absent for the job in a month. But Mr. X is being every week 2 days, he's getting absent, being absent to the job. So he's exceeding the acceptable limit of the uh, limit of any organization policy. So we have to measure that whether is the behavior, the frequency of the behavior is within the acceptable limit, or it is exceeding the acceptable limit. Okay. So the measurement of behavior will also help managers in determining the success in changing behavior, right? So if the behavior is exceeding the acceptable limit, so there must be some intervention required to change the behavior of the employee. Okay, if it is an acceptable limit, it need not to be stressed out there. That is a common thing. Okay. Measurement plays a critical role in identifying the magnitude of the problem. So what is the impact of the problem on the performance? Okay. So it will be if the employee is being absent 2 days a week, means his productivity and efficiency definitely will come down. So that is the magnitude of the problem being absent is happening to his performance, right? So it plays a very important role. Measurement plays a very important role in identifying the magnitude of problem. Okay. Sometimes problem may seem much more serious than what it is actually, or it is vice versa. Okay. Sometimes problem is bigger, but we ignore it. We don't think it is a serious thing. Sometimes problem is very small and managers will pay more attention to it. Okay, so for that kind of confusion, measurement will help us in identifying. So being weekly 2 days absent is a serious problem. That is, being 2 days monthly absent is a not serious problem. So instead of paying attention to the Mr. Y who is being absent monthly twice, so instead of paying attention to this person Y, manager should pay attention to the Mr. X who is being absent every week for 2 days. Okay, so this measurement will, remove that confusion. Okay, so scientific measurement will help us to understand the how much problem is serious, and what kind of intervention strategy we have to use for a particular problem. Okay, next one is analysis. Okay, when we see here this word analysis means all graph charts will come to our mind, right? So in the behavior thing also, we have to analyze the behavior of an employee. After the measurement, we have to put it in the we have to analyze the behavior of employee. So we call it as a functional analysis. So managers have to do the functional analysis of the behavior, which requires the modification. Like we have to reduce the absenteeism in this case, right? So how to reduce the absenteeism? That analysis has to be done. Okay. So analysis will determine what circumstances lead to a particular type of behavior. What are the consequences of such behavior, right? So means here I can say that if he is being absent, uh, so what is the consequences of being absent for 2 days? Okay, why he is being 2 days out? Is he really being sick? If he's being sick every week 2 days, means he's unfit to the job, right? So what is the circumstances? Whether the other circumstances may be there, that the manager or a supervisor is not a cooperating supervisor. That's why he is not feeling, coming back to the feeling good to coming back to the organization and working with the particular manager or supervisor. So that might be the circumstances which is leading him to to be absenteeism. So what is the consequences of that behavior? In the first case, where he is, he's not keeping well for 2 days in a week, if he's taking, he's visiting hospital and all, if he's taking leave, means he's unfit to the job, right? So you have to take the related measure to, reduce that absenteeism, right? Or if he's being absent because his manager or a supervisor is not supportive and his the work environment or a work culture is not supporting, so this might affect other employees also, because the same manager or the same supervisor will be there for other employees also. Okay, so the consequences has to be identified, right? So first we have to think about the what are the circumstances which led this person to react in a particular way or behave in a particular way. So what are the consequences for that behavior, right? Next one is consequences have an impact on subsequent behavior. So if the person realizes that I'll be removed from my job if they find out that I'm visiting hospital every 2 days, that I'm unfit to the job, then he might realize that fact, and he try to come to the office, and he might visit hospitals in the weekdays or in the holidays, right? So this is the subsequent behavior. Okay, so ABCs of behavior modification, which is comes under the analysis. First, we have to, there are three things. A means antecedents, B means behavior, C means consequences. Antecedents here means, students, these are the events which happened in the past, okay? Or before the behavior occurs, what makes you to, like circumstances, what I was saying. So this is that, okay? So what makes you to behave in a particular way? So it happens before the behavior. This is the previous step, okay? So the dictionary meaning of antecedent, if you know that, it says that a thing or an event that exists or comes before or another, okay? So it influences the other. Antecedent means it comes, antecedents means the events or the things which comes before and affect the things which are coming after, influences the which are things coming after. Here you can see that antecedents are going to affect the behavior, right? It is like a background work. Okay, so because of these things the behavior will happen. So the behavior will happen and the consequences will be faced. So consequences means it is a events or interaction which happens after the behavior, right? Like I was saying, absenteeism is a behavior of an employee. The circumstances which making him absent are antecedents. The consequences, whether he is getting a punishment or he is going under some training program or some motivational program. So those are the consequences, right? Maybe a pay cut for the uh, his absent days is a consequence, or if it is reducing his performance and productivity and efficiency, that is a consequences of his behavior, which is absenteeism. The antecedents may be the circumstances which made him to be absent for 2 days a week. Next step, sorry, before going to next step, I'm going to give an example of analysis. So in an organization where employees are required to fill in regular timesheets, if it is found that the most of the employees are not filling them regularly, this avoidance of filling the timesheet is a target behavior for intervention. Okay, in the organization they are giving a timesheet. Very simple example. So whatever they are doing in the 8 hours of work time, so they have to fill that it in a timesheet. So if the employees are not regularly filling it, means the manager has to intervene, come in between this, and he has to intervene, and he has to take an action related to this. Okay. So the reason why employees are not filling the timesheet is an antecedent, right? Why they are not filling the timesheet? Because the timesheet maybe it is a complicated to fill, it is a difficult one to fill, or they think that it consumes the time, and their productivity will affect just if they dedicate a certain amount of time to just to fill the timesheet. Okay, so this is an antecedent. So they think that the timesheet filling up the timesheet is consuming the time and it is difficult to fill, so that's why they are not filling the timesheet. That is the behavior. Okay, the intervention by the manager is a consequences, right? The three things here we have given. So this is an example of analysis, ABC analysis. Okay, next step is interventions. Intervention here is, so here how I've given the figure, it suggests that, so it is an advice, help, support, guidance or assistance or tips given by the managers to the employees to change their behavior in a desirable way. Okay, so undesirable behavior will be changed by intervening to a desirable behavior. So how do we do the behavior? So what we have to do, the objective of intervention is, intervention means, so they are making sure that the behavior, whatever the behavior they are showing, that has to be changed, right? uh, so intervention is a act of uh, uh, coming in between something and suggesting helping or guiding, like that, right? So why the managers will intervene in employee behavior? Because it's their responsibility to strengthen and accelerate the desirable behavior, or weaken. Intervention happens to strengthen the behavior which is desirable and weaken the behavior which is undesirable. Weaken or decrease the behavior which is undesirable. Okay, so we have to, here in intervention there are 4 types of strategies, we'll see in the next slide. So according to the situation, the strategy will be used. Okay, so whether we have to strengthen the behavior or weaken the strengthen the desirable behavior or weaken the undesirable behavior, depending upon the situation, the strategies will be changed. Okay, so once the strategies is changed, strategies is chosen, the strategy will be implemented to change the behavior, and the related behavior, what resulted behavior, that is to be measured. Okay, so first we will do, what we will do, we will strengthen the desirable behavior or weaken the undesirable behavior, depending upon the situation, whether the behavior is desirable or undesirable. Okay, take an example, like if a punctual employee is never been late or lazy to the work, so we have to strengthen such kind of behavior. So for such kind of strengthening, there is a different strategy. We want to reduce the absenteeism, that is weakening the behavior, right? It's an example of weakening the behavior. For that, we have to uh, use different kind of strategy than the prior one, right? So depending upon the situation, after using the strategy, intervention strategy, we have to measure the resulting behavior, what kind of changes happened. Okay, so how many times the resulting behavior is repeated, the frequency we have to record and analyze. Okay, so if a behavior change has occurred in a right direction, if strengthening strategy is used to strengthen the behavior, if it is becoming more strong, then it is going in a right direction. Okay, so if our strategy is making it has a reverse reaction, then it is a wrong intervention strategy. You have to think about the any other intervention strategy. Okay, so what are this intervention strategies we are talking about? There are 4 intervention strategies. We call them as reinforcement, right? We have studied this in the operant conditioning theory, the same thing. Okay, so there are 4 reinforcement strategy, that is positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, and extinction. So what is positive reinforcement? Positive reinforcement is giving awards, rewards, monetary benefits, non-monetary benefits for a desirable behavior. Right? If you clean, I have given an example. If you clean all the dust, I will pay you money. Bonus, say for example, if you be productive this month, if you work efficiently, or if you work more hours, then we will give you a bonus. Or if you're not taking any leave, sick leave or a paid leave in a month, so we will reward some money, or we will reward you as a best employee of the month. So that is the positive reinforcement. Okay. Next one is negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement will be used to, eliminate the undesired behavior, right? Like how traffic inspector is fining the automobile traveler there, right? So that is an undesirable behavior. So once you pay the fine, the next time you do not ride the bike without helmet, or without wearing a car without wearing a, will not drive your car without wearing a seat belt, because you feel that if I show cause this kind of undesirable behavior, I might end up paying the fine, right? So weaken that kind of undesirable behavior, the negative reinforcement is used. Okay. Next one is punishment. Okay. Punishment is to reduce the behavior. Okay. uh, like if you're becoming absent, we will cut your salary, right, for the particular day of, whenever you are absent, that day we won't give you salary, or we will demote you, or we will remove from, terminate you from the job. So this kind of punishment, if it's kind of a fear you are putting in a employee's mind that I should not be. That is absenteeism and undesirable behavior, definitely. So we have to reduce, remove that, not reduce. So here we are reducing the desirable, undesirable behavior. We are increasing the desirable behavior. Here we are reducing the undesirable behavior, because there is a scope, right? We see the chances of, if we put some kind of pressure, then there will be a change in the behavior. But punishment is used where there is a person is intentionally doing it, so he's aware of his mistakes, but he's repeating those mistakes. So in that kind of time, punishment is a one method which can be used to completely remove the undesirable behavior. Next one is extinction. So extinction will decreases the frequency of behavior. Say for example, if you're regularly coming punctual to the office, but your manager is not recognizing it. Okay, so what you do, you stop doing that behavior, right? So this kind of method is rarely used when there is a, okay, so especially the ones which might be uh, previously rewarded, or which they have used the benefits already. So that kind of behavior, the frequency occurrence of behavior is most likely to reduce. Okay, so these are the steps which we were talking about, right? The last step is evaluation. Before going to the last step, I want to take you through the intervention. So intervention is strengthening the desirable behavior or weakening the undesirable behavior by mediating through guidance, support, helping, like that. Okay, by using the four reinforcement, that is positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, or extension. Okay, the last step in the OB modification is evaluation. Okay, now think that intervention, you have done the intervention. The people who fall under the category of who require the positive reinforcement, the people who fall under the category who require the negative reinforcement or the punishment. Okay, we categorize the employees, and you have applied the reinforcement strategy. Then after applying those strategy, you have to then the employees will again come to shop floor to perform, or is their workstation to performance, right? So you have to observe their behavior again, because the intervention strategy we used is working or not. Okay, we have to evaluate the performance, right? We have to evaluate the performance. Okay, whether intervention what we have taken has worked or not. Okay, so after doing the evaluation, we will find out that whether the undesirable behavior is substituted by desirable behavior or not. Okay, So because of punishment, like we have chosen a person who falls into the category, he only listens to the punishment, and we said that if you keep absenting, we will cut your salary. Then what he in the next month, if you say that if you see his behavior, it is changed and he has become a regular employee, is not being absent, means it has changed from undesirable behavior to desirable behavior. So you have used the right kind of intervention strategy here. Okay. So sometimes punishment won't work. Okay. Negative reinforcement is the most effective strategy than punishment. Okay. You, if that punishment is not working and the employee is again being absent and more absent than the before one, because if he see that if I go to office they will punish me, then I'll not go to the office itself. So it is it's a kind of is leaving your organization and bad mouthing about your organization in the outside. So that is a kind of bad implication of punishment. So you have to use the different strategy. If it is not turned to a desirable behavior, you have to use a different reinforcement strategy or intervention strategy. Okay. If there is a change in the behavior, then we have to think that whether this change is a temporary change or a permanent change. This employee is for 1 month he is coming regular, second month he is again absent, third month again he is absent. So this is a 1 month change. What he showed is a temporary change. Okay. So whenever the behavior modification we are thinking about, we have to make a desirable behavior as a permanent change, not a temporary change. Okay. For to make a permanent change, we have to think about the suitable intervention strategy. Okay. So the last thing is feedback. So if the behavior is changed, then it will show in his performance, right? So if it is a desirable behavior or a positive change, that your interventions are successful. If the is behavior is not changed or changed but it is not significantly changed, so you have to think about the any alternative strategies. Okay. So how you evaluate the that their behavior is changed or not? Reaction, behavioral change, whether his performance is improved or not, and his level of learning. Okay. So these are the four things which we can think about in the uh, so let us get back to the steps and we will briefly. So first, manager has to identify the critical behaviors and they have to measure the frequency of the critical behavior. Then they have to analyze ABC analysis. What are the circumstances which made the behavior and what are the consequences, right? Then they have to use the right kind of intervention strategy: positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, or extension. After intervention, we have to evaluate whether that intervention strategy has worked or not, whether it is visible in his performance or not, whether it is a temporary change or a permanent change. Okay. So if the behavior is changed, yes, it is changed, it is significantly visible, and the undesirable behavior has turned to a desirable behavior, then you maintain the same intervention strategy to that employee or a group of employees. If the desirable behavior is not changed, the undesirable behavior is continuing, then you have to go back to the changing of intervention strategy. That is the talk we are talking about these two steps here. Going back to the intervention strategy, despite of punishment, you can use negative reinforcement or any other strategy to modify the undesirable behavior. Okay. So what is the application of this OB mod or organizational behavior modification in the organization? Okay. The first one is improving the employee productivity. So definitely when employees are like changing of this critical undesirable behavior like absenteeism, tardiness, okay, or unheard of instructions, not paying attention to instruction, not following the rules and regulations. So if those kind of behaviors are changed or modified, then definitely it will improve the efficiency of a employee, and he'll turn become a productive person. Okay, so if he is not being absent for every 2 days a week, then his productivity will definitely improve, and he'll become an efficient employee like others in the organization. Okay, increasing the employee discipline, like we may say that here I'll give an example. There is a policy called well pay versus sick pay. Okay, so there are organizations who pays the employees if they're sick, they can take a leave, and for that day they'll be paid. Okay, uh, so many of the employees will take a misuse of this policy, and they will simply sit at home without being sick, and they'll take the opportunity of sick pay. So to overcome this, many organization has started well pay, a policy called well pay, where the employees are given payment, more payment, where if they are not being absent for any day of the month. So that is a well pay, right? So that money is more than the sick pay money. So that has worked, that strategy has worked. This is a negative reinforcement, right? So sick pay is there, but if you introduce the well pay thing, so the employees want more money, and they will come regular to the organization to job, and in expectation of well pay. Next one is enhancing the safety. Okay. Uh, so here I can give an example. If you use a positive reinforcement strategy here, like whenever you are going to work with the machines or in a hazardous situation where you have to use the mask, gloves, or a bodysuit, or you have to take a safety measurement, the employees who is using the safety measurement perfectly will be rewarded. Okay. So if you keep such kind of rewards, then they'll employee will pay attention to the safety measures, and in expectation of reward, but that will increase the safety of the employee. Next one is developing training programs. So here managers will identify in which are the areas the employees are lacking. Like I was giving an example, because the manager and supervisor are not cordial with the employees, and they are not creating a supportive work culture in the organization, that's why the employees are keeping absent. So that kind of situation, we can take some kind of programs, or some kind of modification in organization structure, or any the employee want to come to the organization, but he is not efficient employee. He's facing difficulty in communicating to his supervisors, or is facing difficulty in operating machines. So if you find out that, identify that kind of problems, means you can recommend him for some skill development program, motivational programs, training programs, like that. So identifying the critical problems is plays an important role. Next one is self-management. Here, every employee or every individual will be allowed to manage his own behavior. Okay, it is like the example of 360-degree appraisal. So when he is evaluating his behavior himself, so he's a better judge of his behavior. Right? He himself can manage, modify his behavior. There is no requirement and intervention from the manager. Okay, so these are the some of the application of OB, uh, organizational behavior modification in the organization. This is all about today's class about organizational behavior modification, or OB mod, or organizational behavior management we call. So I hope you understood my teaching. Thank you for listening to me. Keep watching for more updates.